very graceful landing, but it's an alligator climbing a fence.
And finally, another gator nightmare. This guy at an alligator farm in St. Augustine, Florida, demolishes a watermelon in one big chomp. Another reason to live in Wisconsin. No gators.
And that's this week's edition of the Newshounds Now Update. I'm not sure the dog likes this.
I'm not sure either.
But she's taking. Be safe. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, several law enforcement agencies are investigating after burglaries and vehicle thefts happened over the last few days.
An investigation is underway into the head of the Madison School District's after-school program as he is facing tentative charges of possessing child porn.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3 Now. The district attorney's office tells us the head of Madison School District's after-school program, 44-year-old Jacob Tissue, is expected to appear in court Tuesday.
He's been arrested on tentative charges of possessing child porn. The school district immediately placed him on leave when they found out about it. Our Jamie Perez joins us now with more on what we know. Jamie?
Today, the police, the DA, and the school district declined to comment any further about where they are at in this investigation. A spokesperson said,
after finding out that MSCR's executive director had been arrested on tentative charges of possessing child porn, an all-staff meeting was held at MSCR this morning, though they didn't comment on what was discussed. The school released a statement yesterday saying, in part, "This is incredibly difficult news for all of us to grasp, and we'll continue to work with law enforcement and take action based on the criminal process." Tissue has been placed on leave, and his profile on the MSCR website has been removed. He's been the executive director since 2017. Prior to this job, Tissue has held a number of local recreation-type jobs. Tissue formally did an interview with us about a summer literacy program.
It's an opportunity for them to learn new techniques to bring to kind of our typically recreation-based model, but bring these types of activities that, encourage kids to learn to read better.
People who knew Tissue told me off camera they didn't sense anything abnormal about him, which is why so many are shocked. This case is now in the district attorney's hands. We are waiting to hear back on when formal charges may be announced. In the meantime, the district said they are cooperating with police as the investigation continues. We will continue to bring you updates as the story develops.
Thank you, Jamie.
Sure.
A $5,000 cash bond has been set for the man charged with a kidnapping in Lake Delton. 22-year-old James Sellers charged with 3 counts, accused of trying to kidnap a 2-year-old in Lake Delton in May. A judge said he cannot return to the Deer Run Estates neighborhood. The judge also ordered a mental evaluation for Sellers.
A McFarland teacher accused of child enticement and causing mental harm to a child is on a leave of absence from his position amid a police investigation. The McFarland School District announced today 35-year-old Andrew Meeks was put on leave in the district because the judge ordered Meeks to stay out of McFarland and not to have contact with children under 16 unless supervised while he is out on bond. Meeks is listed as a 4th grade teacher at Wabisa Intermediate School in McFarland. He was not formally charged yesterday. The judge gave the prosecution 4 weeks to file a criminal complaint. He will be back in court September 26th.
Multiple agencies are investigating a string of home burglaries across Jefferson County.
Cars and personal items were stolen between midnight and 5 o'clock this morning. Our Rose Schmidt has the warning from the Fort Atkinson Police Department tonight.
Yes, one of these victims was actually a Rack County deputy whose debit card was used by the intruders at a Quick Trip in Madison early this morning. Police in Watertown, Jefferson, Lake Mills, and Fort Atkinson are all asking neighbors to lock all doors, windows, and cars after a group of burglars reportedly targeted several homes, taking cars, electronics, wallets, and golf clubs. One homeowner had $50,000 worth of items stolen, including his brother's car. Most of these crimes were committed using keys or garage openers left in unlocked cars.
I always hear people say, well, this is Fort Atkinson, we don't have to do that. Well, the reality of it is crime happens everywhere. So, when you go to bed at night, secure your home, make sure you and your family's safe. Don't leave valuables in plain sight in your vehicle parked outside. Lock your car at night.
Now you're seeing an image from surveillance video at one of the scenes. Chief Bump says there was a car that was involved in a burglary in Jefferson and Fort Atkinson. So it is likely that all these incidents are connected. Police say there is no immediate danger to the public and no one was hurt during these incidents. That being said, if you do see a suspicious car or people in your neighborhood, please call the Jefferson Police Department. We'll have that number up on our website, channel3000.com.
Sometimes just the littlest things. Lock your door, close the garage door.
Yeah, most of these happen with unlocked cars in the driveway.
Rose, thanks. Edgerton firefighters right now are responding to a residential fire in the town of Fulton. Rock County Dispatch said they received a call at 2:45 for a report of a structure fire. This was at 9335 Arrowhead Shores Road in Fulton. Officials said no injuries were reported. The cause of the fire unknown at this time, and firefighters are still at the scene. All right, a little fall feeling in the air with all the football going on tonight. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us. He is out on the weather patio. Gary?
Well, it's just because yesterday was warm and humid. Today is a little cooler and drier, so it feels a lot cooler, but it's very comfortable. Let's take a look at visible cloud track. Things very quiet across Wisconsin. Got just some mid and high level clouds from the south and also from the west, but the nearest rain is still in northwestern Iowa, and even that is fizzling out as it moves eastward. So we'll stay dry for tonight and much of the day tomorrow, with a better chance of showers holding off till tomorrow night. As we take a look at current temperatures, they're in the lower to middle 70s, a couple places in the upper 60s, but dew point temperatures remain low in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees. So temperatures will cool off into the lower 50s by tomorrow morning with partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow we'll see variably cloudy skies with a slight chance of a shower in the afternoon. Our high temperature at 72. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Okay, Gary, thank you. 3 Chilean nationals who are alleged members of a major crime ring are in the Dane County Jail tonight.
Monona police say what started as a routine retail theft turned into detectives breaking up part of a national theft ring. Our Amanda Quintana is here with the details. Amanda.
The chief tells me that the group got greedy and that's what led to them being caught. Detectives believe this group's MO is stealing credit cards, then using those credit cards at stores to buy high-end items like laptops, purses, and clothes. All of these bags you're seeing are filled with items found in their car worth more than $40,000. And police believe this is the stuff they stole in just the last 1 to 2 days.
This group is operating not just in Monona or in Wisconsin. They're operating all over the United States. There was evidence in the car that they had been shipping product that they stole back to New York City. We found receipts and mailing ledgers and things like that. So this is a pretty big organized group.
They got caught on Wednesday night at the Kohl's in Monona. A loss prevention agent saw them shoving watches into their pockets and taking them out to the car, so not just sticking to the credit card scam. And that's what led to their arrest. But this is just a small percentage of the large group doing this across the U.S. In Monona, police were able to catch 3 of them, all from Chile, but believe there's a 4th person out there and possibly another car with 2 more people. So this is a really huge ring. And they were able to find a few of them.
An incredible amount of merchandise over 2 days.
A lot.
Wow. Thank you, Amanda.
Unalaska police are investigating a suspicious death. This happened at a storage unit near the former Shopko store in Unalaska. Thursday afternoon, a Shopko employee discovered a body in that storage unit, called police. They say it was a 60-year-old man found deceased inside. Due to the location of the body, the Unalaska PD will investigate the death as suspicious, but police are saying at this time they do not suspect foul play.
As Dane County looks to build a new jail, it is also looking at ways to cut the number of inmates that it's housing.
On News 3 Now's Amy Reed joins us now to show us how the county is trying to pull it off. Amy?
The county ordered an analysis done on its jail population that really took the whole criminal justice process into account. First, the analysis noted that Dane County is already doing a good job comparatively of keeping the jail population low. We're at about 75 beds fewer per 100,000 than the national average. But it suggested we look at expediting facility transfers, so an inmate moving from one facility to another, and reducing the sentence length, which research shows has a large impact on the jail population without compromising public safety. Board Supervisor Chair Sharon Corrigan said she's happy to have these results in, but now starts the work and cooperation.
It's not just flipping a switch and suddenly it's different. This takes all of the players in the system working together, and I'm encouraged by the Criminal Justice Council's enthusiasm for working together on this, recognizing these are difficult decisions and difficult issues working together, but recognizing the need for that.
The county hired JFA Institute, which is a research organization that does this kind of study for cities across the country. What sparked this is the jail consolidation project. Dane County wants to reduce the number of beds in our jails by 10%. This helps form a roadmap to help that happen. There is at least one more study the county wants to do to help form better policy going into the new jail. That's a mental health analysis. It's expected to be out this fall.
Amy, thank you. The first day of school is coming up for many kids in southern Wisconsin. Our Josh Spreiter and Keely Arthur are sharing some bus safety tips ahead of the first day of classes.
We are heading into the last weekend before the start of school for most kids in southern Wisconsin.
With school buses joining the morning commute after the holiday weekend, the Rock County Sheriff's Office has a few reminders for drivers. They want you to know that you have to stop at least 20 feet away when a school bus is flashing red lights. That goes for all lanes of traffic unless it's a highway with a center median. Cars also have to stay stopped until the bus turns off its red lights and starts moving. The Sheriff's Office says they'll be out strictly enforcing this once the school year starts.
Now, this all comes after stopping for school buses was a big problem in Beloit last school year. The Beloit Turner School District installed cameras on their buses during spring break after town of Beloit police handed out multiple tickets during a week-long span where officers rode along on buses. The Beloit Turner School District said they documented more than 90 instances where cars illegally passed buses in the month after a hit-and-run crash involving a school bus in February.
We've been getting you ready for back to school all month long on News 3 this morning, and Tuesday is the big day. We'll be live that morning talking to the Madison Metropolitan School District's interim superintendent about what you can expect from Madison schools in the coming year.
We'll see you the morning after Labor Day starting at 4:30.
Fifth-ranked Wisconsin Badger volleyball team started its season today, beating the Florida State Seminoles in an invitational in North Carolina in 3 sets. Dana Redke led the team with 17 kills, Sydney Hilly 37 assists, and Minnesota transfer Lauren Burns had 14 digs. Badgers' first home game will be Thursday against Marquette at the Fieldhouse.
It's a football Friday as the Badgers kick off the 2019 season tonight in Tampa, Florida. Tip-off less than an hour away at Raymond James Stadium. 6 o'clock kickoff against South Florida there. After a disappointing 8-5 finish last season, the Badgers are ranked 19th in the AP's top 25 poll heading into this season. But if you ask the UW's athletic department, expectations are very high as the season kicks off.
I think 13-0, right? No, I mean, this is that time of year where we're just excited to have the start of the season tonight down in South Florida, in Tampa. It's quiet in here right now, as we know, but next week, this time next Saturday, it'll be rocking in here.
The Badger game is one of 2 games tonight featuring top 25 ranked teams opening the season. The other is also a Big Ten team as Michigan State opens its season by hosting Tulsa.
We'll be going head-to-head with a lot of high school games. Prep Mania Game of the Week, a great early season matchup in the Big 8, Verona and Middleton. Jay Wilson, Bill Brophy, Al Middert live, channel3000.com. That's a 7 o'clock kick. And we'll also have 3 other games live on Channel 3000, including Beaver Dam at Oregon, Wanakee at Stoughton, and Reedsburg at Monona Grove. Lots of options tonight for your viewing pleasure of high school football at channel3000.com. And there is more to come on News 3 now at 5. Of course, a lot of concern over Hurricane Dorian, now a Cat 3 hurricane as it approaches the Florida coast. How some Wisconsinites are helping out those who may be affected.
And then coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6, Middleton and Madison teachers are learning how to respond in an active shooter situation. We'll have more on the back-to-school training that's becoming more common.
Mixed numbers for the markets to close the week. The Dow adds 41, but the NASDAQ loses 10.5. The S&P 500 up about 2, and we'll be right back. The Tarrant County, Texas Medical Examiner says Angels pitcher Tyler Skaggs died with a lethal mix of drugs in his system. The LA Times reports Skaggs had the opioids fentanyl and oxycodone along with alcohol in his system when he was found dead in his Texas hotel room July 1st. That's according to the toxicology report, which says Skaggs choked on his vomit while under the influence. His death was ruled an accident. Skaggs' family issued a statement today that mentions that an Angels employee may have some involvement in his death, and officers are continuing to investigate. White House officials say President Trump wants them to be aggressive in the race to complete the border wall. Some of that funding could come from the military's construction budget. Earlier this year, the president asked for a possible $3.6 billion from that account when he declared a national emergency to get money for the border wall. Last month, the Supreme Court cleared the way for $2.5 billion of defense money budgeted for counter-drug efforts to be used for a wall. The Washington Post reported the president said in meetings that he would pardon any, quote, subordinates who break the law in order to get the wall built swiftly. White House officials told CBS News, though, that the president was joking.
I've been in many meetings with the president where the subject of the border wall has been discussed. He has never said anything like that.
And the president tweeted, quote, "This was made up by the Washington Post only in order to demean and disparage fake news."
Hurricane Dorian is gaining strength in the Atlantic as it barrels toward Florida. The hurricane is currently a Category 3 storm and is expected to make landfall as a powerful Category 4 hurricane. Dorian threatens to bring life-threatening storm surge and flooding to the region over several days. The storm could be the strongest to hit Florida's east coast in almost 3 decades.
One thing that's been pretty certain is that this thing's been getting stronger very consistently.
The municipal electric utilities of Wisconsin announced today they're sending 27 crew members along with some bucket trucks and other equipment to help out in Florida. Crews from Black Earth, Mazomaney, Lake Mills, Fenimore, and Prairie du Sac will be heading to Florida Sunday morning. They're expected to be in Florida for 10 days.
Well, let's get a look at our weather for the holiday weekend, along with Gary's closer look at what Dorian's doing.
Yeah, Dorian is really becoming better organized. Visible cloud track clearly shows the eye becoming cloud-free here in the middle. That's a sign that the storm is intensifying pretty rapidly. The latest information from the National Hurricane Center has maximum sustained winds of 115 miles per hour now, making it a Category 3 hurricane. The movement has slowed up a little bit. So as Dorian continues off toward the toward the west-northwest, it's expected to slowly strengthen with winds of 125 miles per hour in about 24 hours, and then in 48 hours, maximum sustained winds of 140 miles per hour with gusts to 165 miles per hour as it moves just north of the Bahamas. Depending on whether it stays just north of the Bahamas or moves directly over them, that could weaken it a little bit, but still it's going to be a very powerful storm as it approaches the east coast of Florida, and then it's expected to slow down. So it may make landfall most likely somewhere along the east coast of Florida and then slowly move northward along the coast. So it'll still get a fair amount of moisture and energy from the Atlantic Ocean. So even though it's inland, it still could maintain very strong strength as it heads up towards Jacksonville. And this is the forecast by Wednesday with still maximum sustained winds of 100 miles per hour. The latest computer model forecast show that Dorian will then kind of hug along the coast, perhaps going through the Carolinas and then maybe a part of the eastern seaboard. But as that happens, it'll slow the progression of weather systems down across the country and actually cause our weather to be a little bit better toward the end of next week. Visible cloud track this afternoon shows some cirrus clouds from thicker clouds down to the south, also some clouds moving in from the west, but not enough really to make any precipitation. We've taken the rain out of the forecast for tonight and much of the day tomorrow. You can see these showers moving into western Iowa have been fizzling. The live view from the WISC Skycam shows partly sunny skies here, and the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison showing partly sunny skies as well over the southern end of Lake Mendota. Our high temperature today, a little cooler than yesterday, 73 so far, low temperature at 51, and right now our temperature is 73. The air is calm. Notice the humidity, 39% with that dew point temperature in the upper 40s. That's very low for the end of August. Normally expect the humidity to be a little bit higher. With the dry air, the temperatures cool off at night. There were pockets where temperatures dropped into the upper 30s in far northern Wisconsin. Superior was down to 40 and Rhinelander at 41. But you can see current temperatures are in the upper 60s to the lower 70s, cooler than yesterday, but still very refreshing for August. To the south and west, even there, dew point temperatures are only in the lower 50s, so most of the moisture has been scoured out of the Midwest, at least for the time being. The jet stream has shifted a little bit to the south. That's allowing some of the cooler Canadian air to come in. The heat and humidity now down in the southern part of the United States with clusters of stronger thunderstorms down to our south. But you can see the cold front that came through yesterday now down into southern Illinois and Missouri and heading southward. North of that front, temperatures are mainly in the 60s and 70s. The 80s are confined to areas south of that front, and the humidity levels generally pretty low across much of the Midwest. You have to get down near the Ohio River before you start seeing dew point temperatures in the upper 60s to around 70. So for tonight, look for partly cloudy skies, seasonably cool weather, low temperature at 52. For tomorrow, look for variably cloudy skies, more sunshine in the morning, more clouds in the afternoon, high at 72, and a slight chance of an afternoon shower. On future track, partly cloudy skies overnight, low temperatures in the lower 50s. High temperatures tomorrow will climb up into the lower 70s. Notice the clouds thickening up in the afternoon, but you don't see much in the way of rain. The better chances of rain will be tomorrow night, and now just the very latest computer model forecasts have shifted it even farther south into northern Illinois. On Sunday, we're back to partly sunny skies in the afternoon with highs in the mid-70s. So the rainfall amounts that were showing about a quarter to a half inch earlier have now shifted southward into northern Illinois with very little rain expected for Saturday night across southern Wisconsin. 7 to 10 day forecast, 80 for a high on Labor Day Monday. Then look for those temperatures to drop off a little bit for the middle part of next week, and then temperatures staying around 70 for next weekend. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, there's the view of the Beltline at Stoughton Road. Very slow traffic on the eastbound Beltline as it passes Stoughton Road and heads toward the interstate. And there was an accident there earlier. It looks like it's still there right around Stoughton Road. So the traffic backing up from there all the way to at least Park Street right now. 26 minutes on the eastbound commute on the Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, but almost half of that, only 15 minutes back in the westbound direction. If you're heading out of Madison, it's 27 minutes to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline southward, 17 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and 16 minutes to Sun Prairie on US 151 and East Washington Avenue. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
All right, thanks, Gary.
Still ahead on News 3 Now at 5, health officials are continuing to see an increase in cases of severe lung disease that could have been caused by vaping. We'll tell you how many cases are now being reported. U.S. health officials say they are seeing more cases of severe lung disease that could have been caused by vaping. Today, officials announced 25 states reported 215 possible cases as of Tuesday. That's up 11% from the CDC's report a week ago. Back then, the CDC said it was investigating 193 possible cases in 22 states, including a death that happened in Illinois. The CDC and FDA say additional reports not listed in the official number are also under investigation, but would not say how many. Health officials have also not said if vaping definitively caused these illnesses or if there are connections with any of those cases.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is back in a race car for the first time since he was in a plane crash. 2 weeks ago on August 16th, Earnhardt Jr. was on board a Cessna Citation when it rolled off the runway and caught fire at Elizabethton Municipal Airport in Tennessee. His wife, Amy, his daughter, and his dog were also passengers on the plane. Everyone escaped safely. Today, he practiced at Darlington Raceway. Earnhardt Jr. retired from full-time competition after the 2017 season, but still had 2 Xfinity Series races planned with his own motorsports team. He's expected to compete this weekend at Darlington.
And stay with us. We'll have another check of your holiday weekend weather forecast in just a moment.
Holiday weekend is here.
Yeah, very quiet out there right now. Skies are partly sunny. It's a little cooler than yesterday, but you can see on Doppler track just a few sprinkles out in western Iowa, and those are falling apart before they reach us. So I don't think we're going to see any rain for tonight tomorrow, or much, if not most of tomorrow. Tomorrow night would be the best chances for rain, but even that seems to be diminishing right now. Temperatures right now, very comfortable, low to mid 70s. Those dew point temperatures in the upper 40s, so the air is dried out. Look for temperatures to be in the low 70s tomorrow, mid 70s Sunday, and around 80 for Labor Day Monday. The end of next week, we've kind of cut back on the rain chances because as Dorian goes up the East Coast, it might cause high pressure to form here and keep our weather quiet.
All right, we're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.